Show. Today I have a wonderful guest. Her name is Nancy Mark, and we are going to be talking about the journey to fulfillment. Corporate tech geek turned enthusiastic glass artist. Welcome, everyone. I'm Virginia Parsons, your host, and it really is my passion to provide you, the entrepreneur, with a gold mine of inspirational tips, strategies, and advice to help you grow your business from what I call inspirational businesswomen in the know. And as I just told you, we have an amazing lady here today to really share some great strategies and ideas with you. So I'm looking forward to introducing you to Nancy in just a moment. But first, I want to acknowledge you here today. I know your time's valuable, and it's always my intention to bring you high quality, valuable content. So thank you for being here. Please let us know where you're hanging out from. Say hi in the comments section. And as we go through this interview, if you hear a gem, go ahead and put pound gem in the comments section and let us know what really sparked your curiosity and what really gave you a great idea. All right, we want to hear from you. Also, if you can help spread the word, we'd be so appreciative. I'm about to start playing the preview trailer for Nancy's interview. And while you're watching that, if you would go ahead and spread the word and share this interview with anybody you think might benefit, we would love that. And thank you in advance. So let's go ahead and get started with the preview trailer, and you go ahead and let other people know about it. All right, I think you can see that we're in for a real treat with Nancy here today. Before we get started, I just want to let you know that today's show is sponsored by hangout-marketing.com, where you can receive a complimentary live stream marketing assessment. Now, why might you want to take it? Because it will reveal to you areas where you need a little bit of assistance, areas where you're already flourishing, and how to brand, grow, and market your business using live stream technology. So I hope you'll take advantage of that by going to hangout-marketing.com, or through your phone. It's text pound success to 775-800-4179. That will only take you a couple minutes to complete, and you might even qualify for a complimentary Shine Online session with me. So take advantage of that if you're ready to step out of your shadow and shine online. Now, let me get to introducing you to Nancy here today. Now, here's the thing. This is more unusual because Nancy came from corporate, right? Have you thought of leaving the burnout of corporate America to pursue your passion? Well, today you'll discover how Nancy Marks left her corporate tech job to open the Glass Arts Collective, an award-winning glass studio and gift shop as a sanctuary for artists to create and converge. Now, today, Nancy's going to share number one, why fused glass became her passion. Number two, how to turn your passion into successful business. Three, the therapeutic benefits of fused glass art. And four, the pros of the glass art collective versus something such as Etsy. Now, after 30 years as a corporate tech geek, Nancy Marks took a creative leap and found her passion in fused glass art. Beginning with a single class, despite her initial self-doubt about having any artistic talent, to her surprise, she discovered a knack for working with glass and embraced the imperfect beauty of all of her creations. Glass Arts Collective was born. It's more than just a studio. It's a sanctuary where artists converge, forming an intimate community bound by the transformative power of art. It's a place where mental well-being flourishes through artistic expression. Nancy, come on in and say hi to our audience, won't you?
Everyone, glad to be here.
We love having you here. I think this is a great topic for so many who aspire to be entrepreneurial, but kind of feel stuck in that corporate maze, right? And not sure how they can get out of it. And you took that plunge and did just that. So I know so many are going to want to listen to you and find out about how you went about doing that, because it's not the norm, it's the dream, right? Not necessarily the norm for a lot of people. So, okay, let's go into that. How did this become your passion? Give us a little background on, first of all, what you did in corporate. I think it's important because you got that techie geek background, right? And now you're doing
Yes.
art and you've made a whole new business out of art. So give us a little bit of the path of where you came from and how you got here today.
Well, Virginia, it's pretty odd and interesting and fun and creative, all in its own little journey. So I started off, I came to California and living the dream, I wanted to live in California. So I gave myself a month and said, I'm going to find a job. And if I can't in a month, I'll go back home. And I went to an employment agency that a friend recommended, and I was literally hired on the spot to start the next day. Sort of unheard of these days, but it actually happened to me. And that was the start of my journey in corporate and in California, where I still am. I went through a multitude of different types of jobs, and each one built on the other. So I didn't stay in one type. I was in personnel before it was HR. I was in payroll. I was in operations. I was in sales. Um, I went to a lot of different places, and each one was interesting to me. Each one I thought there was something I needed to learn or experience, and I did. Did I like them all in the end? No.
Mhm.
I think I'm pretty normal in that respect. Not everything was peachy keen and running the way I wanted. But I learned I could make a difference by using my voice. So it doesn't mean using a mean voice. It means using a compassionate and a voice that is looking at the bigger picture and how many people can I benefit from the things I'm thinking about, and how can I help the business that I'm working with. So that was the beginning kind of a corporate, and I ended up in the IT department at Sony Pictures Entertainment, and I was there for 13 years in the department. I was the director of operations. I did the budgeting and forecasting and purchasing for the department. I even was able to be the leader for the short time of our first intranet in the company. So I was sort of expanding my thoughts and my ideas. And I probably skipped a step in there. When I was in college, I learned how to do computer programming in languages I couldn't care less about, but it was on punch cards. So I learned a lot about the big picture of what programming is and kind of the thought process. And I find that that has a lot to do with the way I think about things. So it's not just we have a goal to hit, but what are all the things that are going to happen in between, and who helps and benefits from the program that we're creating. And so that's been my philosophy. And it took me a long time to realize that that was part of what I've learned and carried forward.
That's a great background and not at all what you would think about for someone who ends up starting an art collective and turns
Yes.
your passion around. So, yeah, we want to go to that next step. Great foundational information and very expansive. So, all of you out there realize that everything that you're doing in the corporate world or in your job could be very valuable to you when you decide, if you should decide, to take the entrepreneurial route. So even some of you who may be kind of a little miserable in that position, find the golden nugget from it because they might be very valuable to you going forward. So let's move into the forward where you obviously must have become dissatisfied in some way and there was some other kind of yearning going on within you. But tell us about that.
Yeah, I could make a difference to some degree, but there were a lot of areas in corporate that I really couldn't. And it was frustrating. It was frustrating to see things based on information that's inaccurate. And that kind of drove me crazy. So I was looking for places I could move to that would be more, but I would say a good fit for me, where I could be a good fit for them. So it wasn't just looking at what I wanted, but what could I do for a company? And again, it didn't even occur to me I was doing that. It was also subconsciously. It wasn't like I said, oh, gee, you know, what am I going to be getting out of this? It was not at all. It just was instinctive for me, which I guess is a good thing. But as I look back, it's something lots of people can do. You just have to sort of stop and change your mindset a little bit. So I found that I had married a second time, and my husband suggested I work for him. And, you hear all the stories about working for a spouse, and those all kind of are flashing through my head on a regular basis. But I thought, you know what? He needs my help. And this would be a small company, and this would be a place I could help make a difference. So I went in a actually lower level position and got into sales, which I really do enjoy. And I found I enjoyed it more than I thought I would. I had someone tell me years ago, don't ever get into sales. And I'm like, what does he mean by that? Am I not a good salesperson? I mean, I never did sales up to this point, but what does he mean? And years later, I tried hunting him down so I could ask him what he meant. I never did find out, but it was an interesting because I really enjoyed it. And I didn't sell based on just, what are the value of this server or what's the value of this switch or a firewall, but how is it going to help their company? What's the difference going to make for them? And I took it from that mindset and that perspective, and that was huge. And I did very well with that because if it wasn't the right fit for what they're telling me they need, well, I know other servers, I know other switches, I know other technology. There might be something else, and they might just be using the wrong term. They might think it had to be a server where it didn't have to be a server. So that was a kind of a detailed mention of how I got into wanting to work for my husband and working there. And I ultimately became the chief operating officer because I really did revamp the operations and sales and accounting departments. We stayed the same number of people and doubled the company in size. And
Wonderful.
that was a pretty amazing thing to do. And what I really learned in this particular opportunity that I didn't even realize I would want is I learned how to run a business. That was not on my radar. That was not something I thought I'd be doing. So you can kind of see that there's a jump to, oh, I can run a business. So then what do I do next? Well, I look for what my passions are. What is it that I would really love to be doing? I'm getting older. I want to have more value in my life. I really want to be happier. And where can I do that? And my mom is in an assisted living facility, and they were teaching as one of the activities. They had someone come in and teach fused glass. And I had never heard of it, didn't have a clue what it was. And that's where I signed up for a class so I could learn what it was. And it's literally taking pieces of glass at a comfortable temperature. It goes into a kiln. It heats up between 14 and 1500 degrees, and it fuses the glass together. Well, that sounded like that was something I might be able to do, but I didn't have a creative bone in my body, is what I thought. I mean, everything I was doing was technical and it was, very precise and it was numbers have to balance. You can't have it kind of balancing, it has to balance. So I sort of begrudgingly took the class and I thought, you know what, mom doesn't care if it's good or not. This is my mom that I'm doing this for, and that's a good thing. So I'm going to do it. And it was one class and it was completely revolutionary to me. I never thought I could do it, and I enjoyed it. I said, why in the world have I been telling myself for years I can't do something? My career is going into areas that I hadn't done before, and I learned them, but it was still all sort of technical. So I still kind of kept that mindset wrong. And this like blew that mindset out of the water and it said, you know what? You're wrong. You can do anything you want. You just have to put your mind to it. And that's what I did. That's what got me into fused glass.
Wow. Well, thank your mom and thank
Exactly.
your expanded thinking for realizing, even though your background was so technical and yet sales background, that's wonderful. I mean, sales is truly providing solutions for people when you think of it the right way. And then going into managing the whole company as the chief operating officer is huge. That's now wearing lots of hats and being able to manage lots of people. All of these skill sets are very, very important for running your own business. Do you guys all get this? I hope you're hearing how Nancy came to this place, but she hadn't even thought about having a business in fused glass because she'd never even done anything like this. So she's opening the door for you to think about the possibilities for yourself and exploring things that you may never have thought of would be right for you. So I love this story because you're expanding people's thinking about what the potential is and what the possibilities are. And they may not be yet discovered within you. So this now, you've made one piece of glass, right? And
Yeah,
suddenly there's this, all I can say is that almost for you must have been an awakening experience. An aha, like, wow, I didn't know I had this part of me even existed. So
exactly.
let's talk about how that evolved, because you don't go from doing one fused glass project into opening a whole collective. So let's hear a little bit more about how this passion evolved for you, how you discovered and thought about that it could be a real business. And for you, it's already an award-winning business. We want to talk about that background as well. Go ahead.
So I ended up there was a studio that opened up in town near me. The other studio that I had gone to was more of a drive, and it would be harder to get back and forth on a regular basis. So a new studio opened up, and it was here close to my home. And I started just going over there somewhat frequently. And I was making more things and I was trying new things. And I guess I'm one of those people who say, if they say you can't do something, I want to know why. I want to understand technically why would you not be able to do that? What would happen? So I started playing. I wasn't trying to make specific things. I was trying techniques. The techniques were what really hooked me. And majority of what I make is more abstract. I'm not really making a lot of things that are landscapes or people's faces or animals. I'm doing more abstract stuff, which I really find I love because whatever my mood is, there's something I can put my mood down into art. And I start giggling. I mean, I just laugh at myself that I'm having so much fun. And again, my mindset changed so much. I never realized how much negative talk I did to myself. How many times I would tell myself, you can't do this, you shouldn't do that. Um, why would you even think of that? And I recognized how many times I said it. And I said, that has to stop. Stop negative self-talk. Stop listening to people who are self-talking negatively, like, why would you do that? Oh my gosh. You know, how much glass could you make? Why would you do that? And I said, because if I don't, I'll never know if I really am that passionate about it or not. But right now, I am. So I might not stay in this 20 years, but I might. And you don't know, I don't know. So that's why I'm doing it. I have to find out. So
So I'm going to jump in again.
Yeah,
You're good. Because, see, I hear gems out of all the little pieces, and I want to point them out, and I want all of you viewers to hear these gems too. She's talking about mindset. Mindset is so huge. And boy, you better switch up your mindset to a successful mindset if you're going to be a successful entrepreneur. You cannot put yourself down, say, I'm not good enough. You know, I don't know how to do this. I'm an imposter. Someone else is going to be better than me. Nonsense. If it's your passion, run with it, feel it in every core of your body, and allow it to come alive within you. And you can't do that if your mindset's putting you down all the time. So I think that was a very important point that you just made there. And that's why I wanted to bring that out. Because without shifting that, there's no way you could have shifted into having an award-winning glass art collective. So now I'm going to let you continue because I know there's something that goes back into COVID and all that background. So I want you to share the rest of that with people. But I just wanted to interject that.
no, it is so true. I mean, mindset is so much impacts us in such a way, either negatively or positively. And I decided I didn't like negative. There's way too much negativity out there. Kindness to yourself is probably the most important place to start, changing your mindset. And then it's a lot easier to change it towards other people. So, from all of my fun time that I was having in the local studio, the owner decided not to keep this location open that I was playing in. And I was devastated. What am I going to do? And I went to my husband and he looked at me. And before I even said very much, he goes, you don't get the garage. And I just looked at him and I said, well, then where am I going to do it? And he just looked at me and said, you know how to run a business, open your own. It had not occurred to me at all until my husband said that to me. And whether he was serious or not, it doesn't matter. Um, he said it to me and my mind just started going. So, and again, picture my head's doing this big picture. The studio is already built out. The space is built out. If I came and made a new lease at this location, I could open my own studio. So was there naysay and self-doubt? Of course there was. But how do I address that? I don't have to know it all. I know how to run a business, and there are so many artists out there who know how to do more than I do. And I'll reach out to them because a lot of them are my friends. I will ask them for help. And I found I created a community in almost no time flat of people who loved glass art. So there was someone who knew stained glass, someone who knew mosaic, and of course, several people who knew fused glass. And we talked about it, and we all agreed that offering a multitude of different types of glass art, because they all use the same tools, would be a great idea and a value to the community. And I can run the business. And then once I'm comfortable to take over some of those classes, I will. And I do the fused glass classes, but I am not passionate about the stained glass and the mosaic. I enjoy them, but not passionate. So I still hire people to do those classes because I think when you have someone who's passionate and sharing it with you, it's a completely different experience.
Okay. So I see that you had the support of your spouse, number one. Thank you.
Absolutely.
That's so important. It really makes a difference to have someone who's behind you on something like that. So that's great. And then you took your management skills and decided, yeah, I'm going to teach just my passion, but I'm going to bring other experts in who are passionate about what they do to fill out the classroom schedule and to really make this truly what you're talking about, a collective. You're just kind of running it all, bringing in those experts, but it's a collective of people who love their passion and love sharing it and love teaching it. What beautiful energy you must have there in your location. By the way, tell people where your location is, because there may be some locals who want to run on down and after we're done with this interview and try out a fused glass class or one of the others. Where are you located?
In Westlake Village, California. So we are northwest of Los Angeles, way to Santa Barbara for those people who are visiting the area and might be going through. We are in a small little industrial park, but having a great time.
All right, so let's hear about this story that happened around COVID, because didn't you start your studio right at the time that there were some issues around shutdowns and COVID? Let's hear about that.
Oh, yes. So I took over the studio space on January 1st of 2020, and it took probably about 5 or 6 weeks to get built out with the extra stuff that I needed to have and to bring in inventory and tools and lay everything out. And so we officially opened 5 weeks before COVID hit and then got shut down. So that was a challenge, as you would guess. And of course, the self-doubt came in big time again on me. And I turned it around with all my life. I have said, I wish I had more time. I wish there were more hours in the day. I wish there was more time for me. And I realized, as silly as it sounds, I received that in an odd and very complicated way, but I received that time. So I turned my mindset around again and said, okay, I'm going to learn fuse glass more intensely, more techniques, and I'm going to build out a gift shop in the front of my studio. And that way people can come in, for those that don't want to make something, they can have handcrafted one of a kind gifts available to them, and they can be the gift guru for their friends and their family, and have nice, beautiful art in their home or have it in their office. So there was suddenly a new design in my business that all came because I had more time to think it through, and how, again, can I benefit more people and make a bigger difference and a bigger impact. And so when retail opened, I was actually able to open up the retail side of my business. And there were some sales, there weren't a lot because people still didn't know I was here and a lot of people weren't leaving home, but it started to get the word out. And so I had done some advertising in our local paper, and I was told later, but people actually cut out the ad that I had or the article that was about me, and they put it on their refrigerator. And they said that they want to come here when they feel safe to go out again. And I could never have imagined something that positive, that energy being out there, even during such a horrific environment and time. I mean, California really shut down so much tighter than a lot of places, but we were all impacted by it. And I was impacted by having a rent and a lease and all the bills for all the inventory, but I knew I did the right thing. And I held tight to that. I didn't accept the naysayers who said, "Oh my God, you were crazy. How could you be so stupid to open a studio just before COVID?" Come on, who knew? So why would you say that to me? You know? And I was just like, no, taking that time and I'm making it valuable and I'm utilizing it. And here we are over 4 years later, and we're thriving.
I love this story. I love this story. There's so much important, what I call more gems in this, Nancy. How often do we have an opportunity to step back, take a deep breath, and have some time to think through things? Gave you a whole new look on things. First of all, it gave you the opportunity to go deeper into your passion, learn more of the skills around the fused glass side of your business, which made you in a better position to help more people who wanted to learn it as well. So that's fabulous. It also fed your own soul. And in the process, it triggered you to think deeper about what other services you could provide and add the gift shop component. Who does that benefit? It benefits every one of your artists, number one, because they're getting the exposure and get their pieces of art out into the world and the community. And number two, it benefits all the people that want something unique, that don't want to just go online and buy something that's multi-produced all around the world or over in China or whatever, but want something that's unique, one of a kind, so that when they bring that gift out, people say, oh my God, I've never seen anything like this. And it becomes a very special gift. So, wow, you're accomplishing your goal as far as all the people who can benefit. And that was one of the things you thought about early on in your career when you were building up your experiences. How can what we're doing benefit more people? I love the loop. It's a beautiful loop.
Well, the next thing that came to me through all of this is as I was starting to open up slowly, the people who were coming into the studio needed a sanctuary. They needed a place to clear their mind and get over depression, loneliness, anxiety, um, a myriad of different things, grief. People have lost family members during COVID and they couldn't go anywhere. They couldn't do anything. And I found that those types of people were also coming to the studio. And it didn't even click to me that that's what was also being attracted. And then one of my friends said to me that the studio is her sanctuary. She lost her husband and she came in and she made a beautiful sunset with all kinds of different colors. And it took her a while, but she said the glass didn't judge her. The glass didn't tell her she'd been mourning too long, or it was time to get over it, or pull yourself together. It welcomed her and it let her be her. And she created the sunset that now is in her kitchenette area. And every morning, her husband shines on her as she's having her coffee. And it still makes me tear up. And I've said this story several times. It's just, I helped even a little bit make that big a difference for someone. And there have been several someones that I've made a difference for. And I couldn't even have even imagined that could be part of what this studio is going to bring to this community.
Well, now you're on to that third topic, and thank you for bringing this up because there are therapeutic benefits for sure in any form of creative expression. And you again just left a space, a safe space for people to come and have that experience in an environment that nurtured them literally. And in this case, it helped them move through grief. I mean, grief we all must experience in our life, but it's not always easy to move through it in a way that's actually healthy. And now she's got this beautiful expression that, as you say, her husband shines into her every morning through her glass expression. I love that. So all of you think about this as well, is that whatever you're doing, whatever your passion might be, what are those potential benefits that you can then provide to other people through the passion that you deliver, through the skill sets that you have, and through the different ways that you can communicate with people around that passion. Remember, everything we do vibrationally reflects out to other people. So if you're living that passion and you're shedding off and brushing off the self-doubt and saying, this is what gets me up in the morning excited. This is what elevates my energy. That will be reflected on other people. So it's an important point. Again, these are subtle around business, but you all know who've been following me for a long time that my verb is inspire. My verb in what I stand for is to inspire. That's what the Inspirational Business Women Show is all about. And you're listening to Nancy and her, I don't know that we'll say what her verb is, except part of it is to uplift and heal by helping people create. So I just think I'm excited for you, and I'm excited for the way this is all evolved. And you know what? I think a business evolves successfully when you have those elements in place. And that's really where you're getting to at this point is how do you turn a passion into a successful business? So you want to kind of wrap up what those components all are to you as far as what makes your glass art collective so successful?
I think my passion is definitely felt by other people. I think I allowed myself to ignore my ego and say it was okay to allow other people to help. It was okay to um, be myself and not feel like I had to be a role to business that maybe I didn't quite fit into. Um, and yeah, it's scary, but I think that anytime you choose to do something for yourself, it can be scary. As silly as it sounds, we all, I mean, otherwise we would all take care of ourselves better. We would all think more about ourselves. There has to be something that's stopping us. So I had a lot of support. I'm not going to say that I didn't have a tremendous amount of support from friends who told me that they watched me light up every time I talked about my glass and my experience with a fused glass. And even when I made a mistake, those imperfections, a lot of times they made the piece even better. It just was this is my art form, and this is what I found is my release. It could be any type of art. I mean, I have friends who are major painters, and are they fantastic painters? That's up to the eye of the beholder. Nobody should be judging whether somebody else is good or not. But how they feel about it. Do they enjoy it? Do you enjoy ceramics? Do you enjoy doodling? Do you enjoy coloring? It doesn't matter. But taking time for yourself to do what you love or you enjoy, that is taking care of yourself and being kind to yourself. I think that that is such a blessing and the best gift you can give to yourself.
Well, and when you do that, there's so much more for you to give to others. If your
Yes.
glass is half empty, what do you have to have it overflowing to benefit other people? So yeah, that whatever lights up your soul, in my opinion, is where you need to let yourself be guided. And intuitively, you'll know what the answer is for you. And it may
Yes.
be an entrepreneurial startup of some sort. Doesn't have to be brick and mortar like Nancy's doing. That
Yep.
opportunity was kind of laid in her lap. Little did she
Yes.
know or think about it. And that's also part of what the universe does. You've got to pay attention to these cues that come along and invite you to sort of move into the next step. So, for all of you entrepreneurs or wannabe entrepreneurs out there, be open to the unknown that all of a sudden reveals itself to and pay attention because it may be nudging you in the right direction. I just love this. All right, we've got one more little topic we want to go over, and that is how something like your Glass Arts Collective is different than Etsy. Because I know a lot of people do get customized gifts through Etsy. So talk about that for a minute.
So it's kind of my silly thing, but I have a gift shop that has, at this point in time, 12 different artists in it. And they're my open studio members, and they support me. So I'm supporting back. And we're online. And rather than being with Etsy, which there are so many incredible artists, I am not putting Etsy down in any way, shape, or form. Please know that. But here you get to see 12 artists all at the same time with a huge variety of styles and colors and palettes and talents and techniques. And it's one place. It's very easy to find us. And it's very easy. We ship throughout the United States at this point. We are hoping to ship international before the end of the year. But right now, we ship throughout the United States. So you can go from any state you're in, any place in the United States, pick something on our gift shop, and we will take care of packing it and shipping it for you. How much easier is that? And of course, Etsy does that too, but you only get to see one artist at a time.
Okay. Benefiting the whole, right?
Yes,
Expanding it out to support other people. That's what it's about here at the Glass Arts Collective. And remembering, all of these artists are getting some therapeutic benefits from this. Do you understand how energetically those ways that they're being uplifted is being expressed in their art? Which therefore energetically, I know I'm getting a little woo-woo here, but sorry, I got to get this out there. Those energetic vibrations that have uplifted them are going to be translated into their work, into their art, and you will receive it as part of your gift. Am I right,
absolutely.
Nancy?
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is, to me, a very inspiring interview. I hope you are all really starting to see the possibilities for yourself. Get in touch with your passion. All right, so these are all just great things to think about if you are getting ready or you inspired to move into opening a business of your own. And I just appreciate Nancy's real deep reflection on this and how it grew for her. Now, Nancy has a wonderful gift for us all. Let me go ahead and bring that up because I want you to know that you can pick this up by going to shinetips.com/Nancy Gift. And I want to always say it, shinetips.com Nancy Gift, in case you are watching this or not watching it, but listening to it via audio. But Nancy, go ahead and tell them a little bit about what to expect when they pick up this gift from you.
Well, it actually was a bit of thinking about what would be the right thing to do. And I think what I really want to share, it is tips on how to find your passion. And so I'm really trying to help people find kindness and passion because it has made such a difference in my life. I want to help you as well. So I hope that you will check out the gift and I hope it brings something special for you. And if it does, please let us know. Please leave feedback, comment on the website or in the audio broadcast after you've received your gift.
I know, I think this is something that people can get excited about because you got to start there. That's the energy that gives you what you need to flourish, right? It's sort of like the
Right.
seed. The seed inside a flower is the energy that's potential waiting to be nourished and nurtured so it can blossom. So think of it that way. And Nancy's gift will help you to do that. Now, Nancy, I'd also like to know, um, just let's wrap this all up in a beautiful gift bow for everybody. What do you really want people to take home today? And this is why I say stay to the end, because not only do you get a gift from our guests, but you also get, their one thing that if you take nothing else home today, you want to take this thought home with you. What is that, Nancy?
Okay, so my silly answer is glass is all it's cracked up to be. So keep that in mind, but not everyone's going to get into glass. So I would say that finding something that makes you happy, and there's so many things that you can do that don't involve anybody else and that are simple to do. Find what's your passion. Find what you enjoy doing that makes you happy and change your mindset from I can't to yes, I can.
Oh, that is just so beautiful. Change your mindset from I can't to yes, I can. Nancy, it's just been great having you on the show today. Thank
Thank
you for
you.
being so open on your journey and all the different transitions that you went through to be where you are today. And we don't know where you'll be 20 years from now, but I think you'll be following your passion. That is for sure. So
Absolutely.
again, thank you for being here with us. We appreciate you and we appreciate all of you viewers. If you found this information valuable and you know someone else who might benefit from it, go ahead and let them know, okay? Send this on to them so that they can benefit as well. I want to thank you all for being here today, and we'll see you on the next Inspirational Business Women Show. Bye-bye now. Thanks so much for watching today. Do you know someone who would be a great guest for our show? Or would you like to be a guest on the Inspirational Business Women Show? Let's shine the spotlight on your expertise. We'll share your story while offering tips, strategies, and advice to our viewers. Expert interviews are a great way to build your reputation as the go-to expert. Go to shinetips.com/IBWS to apply today. Women are waiting for your message, and I can't wait to interview you.